Okay, Brian. We got a busy schedule today, so let's knock this voiceover out.
Sounds good. I got a couple of ideas. I think you're going to love them. It's it's Vegas this week. I'm thinking glitz. I'm thinking glamour.
Well, that's all cute and all, but I'm not really looking for any feedback here. So let's give it a shot once through and see what we got.
All right, here we go. All right. Welcome to Vegas, where the NASCAR circuit meets the desert oasis, and scintillating action is around every turn.
Wait. Stop. What are you doing?
Just go with me here. I thought I'd just add a couple of personal touches.
Let's just save your input for when I need it.
No, I'm just trying to jazz it up. That's all.
The script is good, so just go ahead and read it.
All right, here's take two.
Okay.
Welcome to Vegas. Today, Roush looks to up the ante by doubling down and going all in.
Dude, Brian, that doesn't even make any sense.
When people think Vegas, it doesn't make sense. It's Vegas, baby.
The double down, ante up, all in. I mean, people have all heard this before.
And cliches and all. This is what people want.
My script is brilliant. It's pure poetry.
All right, here's poetry. Take three. Welcome to Vegas. Week 3 of the NASCAR season lands in the desert. After JJ cashed in his chips last week, Kurt thinks deuces are wild.
Stop.
He's the 2-car.
You're killing
Deuces
me, man.
Wild.
Listen, VO guy, just read the script.
Look, I'm sorry.
I don't even get it.
No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted this to be good.
My kid's got a baseball game. I got to get out of here.
All right, let me read it as it is. Welcome to Vegas. Cut the cards. Face the flop. 3 of a kind.
You know what? Just forget it. Forget it.
No, wait.
I'll just do it myself.
I'm the announcer. I'll give you the tag.
Do the tag.
NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, is next on Speed. Vegas, baby.
The name Las Vegas speaks for itself, a city known for high stakes and long odds. Nowhere is that more evident than the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. When 43 of the world's best drivers get together for their game, the stakes are as high as they can get, and it's basically 43-1 against winning. The terrific tandem of Chad Knaus and Jimmie Johnson put the rest of the circuit on notice last weekend in California as the number 48 got win number 48. And as they come to Vegas to hit race number 13, they have had tremendous success at this racetrack over the years. Last year, however, Jimmie Johnson led the most laps. He failed to win the race. That honor went to hometown favorite Kyle Busch in one of the biggest wins of his career. Today, he'll try to make it 2 in a row, and for the first time in 3 years, Kevin Harvick leads the points. Every fan lives for race day, and today, it's Vegas. No city like it in the world, and no feeling like hitting it big here. 160,000 fans can't be wrong. This is the center of the stock car racing world this weekend.
Man, look at this crowd. Big, man, big, and big all week. We're not messing around here on race day. We got them all.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. I'm John Roberts. He is the man we call KP, Kyle Petty, and he is race car driver number 28,
yes.
Kenny Wallace. And this is Vegas, guys. 1 trip per year. You got to make the most out of it.
And you know what? Everything is a show in Vegas. Just a big show everywhere. And let me tell you the show as of late. Last year, Kyle Busch wins the race. We come back this year. Kurt Busch's brother is on the pole for today's race. My question to you, race fans, can any driver stop the Busch brothers? They are rolling here.
I don't know, man. A pair of Bushes, maybe that beats the field here.
Does that beat 3 of a kind?
That may be 3 of a kind. I don't know. But I think when you look at it, the season started off at Daytona. Then we go to a 2-mile track. Now we're at a 1.5-mile track. And this is what we're going to be racing on, the 1.5-mile style racetracks. The Charlottes, the Kansas, the Chicagos, places like that. This is where we're going to see what the heart of the season is. And I'm going to tell you what, the guys that come out of here that run good here are looking forward to the rest of the season. The guys that leave here today that kind of struggle a little bit, they're going to be thinking about where they're going to be in another 5 or 6 months.
Well, let's take a look at the guys who are running well so far. It's not too early, even though it's race number 3 of the season, to take a look at points and look who is well represented in the top 5. Kyle Petty, that's Richard Childress Racing with the 31, the 29, and the 33 of Clint Boyer as well.
Amazing what a year does for you. You know what I mean? This is Richard Childress Racing. We're looking at Richard Childress Racing on the screen right now. Last year, we were looking at Rick Hendricks Motorsports, you know, the first 3 or 4 races. But this year, it's amazing how this group has improved.
It could be the year of the Biff. Stick with the Biff. I mean,
Could well be.
he's
Yes,
sitting
it
there
is.
in 3rd. That's a good spot. Here's Matt DeBrat Kenseth. That's another Roush driver. And then look at Carl Edwards. So it looks like right now it's Richard Childress against Roush against Hendrick.
And so far, no sophomore slump for Joey Logano running 9th in points. Kyle Busch, the winner of this race last year, and a guy who made the chase last year, kind of surprised some people. Brian Vickers, number 14.
Yeah, and you look at Scott Speed in that group. I mean, who would have picked Scott Speed at this point in time, 2 races into the season coming off of last year?
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes 2nd at Daytona and breaks a dry plate last week, still 16th in the points.
Now, this is deceiving. Juan Pablo Montoya is running 23rd in points right now, but his runs have not been 23rd place runs. It's been mechanical failures that have hit Juan Pablo. Had a chance to talk to him last Thursday night. He says they figured out at Earnhardt Ganassi what the problem is with the engines, and they know how to take care of it. So watch out for those guys again this season.
And stay tuned on our show today because we had a ration of blown motors last week. We're going to have reports on blown motors this week.
Now, we need not remind you, this is Las Vegas. There is so much going on in and around this racetrack, and one of the highlights of the track, of course, is the Neon Garage, and that's where our good friend Wendy Venturini is this morning. Wendy, what's going on in there?
Well, good morning, Johnny. Good morning to those on the West Coast just waking up, and good afternoon to those on the East Coast. Now, what's cool about Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's the Neon Garage. You get a bird's eye view of these race cars and exactly what's going on. Now, the cool part is we get lots of secrets that we could get up here. Let us be the eyes and the ears of the garage area for you today. Now, the obvious thing, don't adjust your clocks. We have an earlier start time here on the West Coast. We're starting at 12 o'clock local, 3 o'clock on the East Coast. Well, that plays into the weather. If you check out the weather today, it's a little bit different in Las Vegas than what has been all weekend. Sunny conditions here at the Speedway today for the first time all weekend, almost 60 degrees. That's going to change some of the setups. Now, we used to have a little bit warmer start time going into the cool of night. Well, now we start in the cooler morning going into the heat of the day, and that is going to affect our race cars. For more on that, let's head over to my good friend, Hermie Sadler.
Well, thank you, Wendy. We had rain here last night, washed all the rubber off the racetrack, so we're starting with a green racetrack. And I'm over here where Goodyear mounts up all the tires for race weekend. This weekend so far, over 3,000 tires they have mounted for action this weekend here at Las Vegas. Now, this new generation tire, let's talk about it. Last year, let's talk about stagger. Last year, this is a left rear tire on all these race cars. This is the right rear tire. Last year, they had about 1.25 inches of stagger, meaning the right rear tire was taller in circumference than the left rear tire. What did that do? It helped the cars turn through the middle of the corner. Some helped them turn too much, help them a little bit too free, could not get a fast lap and cause some problems during the course of the race. What did Goodyear do this year? Well, they lowered that stagger to about 9/10 of an inch. So it gave the drivers more of a secure feeling in the middle of the corner. The cars are a little bit snugger, especially in qualifying. We saw track record speeds in qualifying. Now the challenge is for these crew chiefs and drivers, with this smaller stagger, can these drivers and crew chiefs keep the car free enough through the course of the day to be able to make passes and get off these long corners to the straightaways to carry the kind of speed they need? But Goodyear has done a great job through testing, adjusting the stagger, a new construction left side tire with more grip. Better tires, better grip, and some fall off during the course of a run means better racing, and that's what we're going to get today at Las Vegas. Johnny?
Hermie, thanks a lot. A lot of info from where the rubber hits the road with the tires. And guys, Jimmy Johnson said earlier in the weekend when you come to Las Vegas, he's a 3-time winner here, so he should know, he says you got to be aggressive. Is that the way to take it, Kenny?
What Jimmy Johnson is saying, okay, he says you got to be aggressive, and here's why. This racetrack holds the speed. In yesterday's nationwide race, the guys were going down into turn 1, lifting off 1/4 of throttle. Any other racetrack, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to start letting out 3/4 to all the way. Here at Vegas, when you attack these corners, I mean, it's got good banking, Kyle. It's a fast racetrack. That's what Jimmy Johnson means. It means you can get after it at this racetrack.
And you've got to get after it early in a run. You know, Hermie talks about the tires and how good a grip they have. When the tires have the most grips, you got to make things happen. And you'll see guys make moves to the outside, below that white line, in the middle of the racetrack, a little bit of everywhere. You got to be aggressive in the beginning so that you find your place on the racetrack so you can kind of settle into the rhythm later.
All right, we're going to settle into our rhythm here. We got the next 2 hours coming at you on race day. We got both Busch brothers, champion Jimmy Johnson, and a lot of surprises along the way. After all, it is Vegas, and we'll be back with more race day in a moment.
He's fitting in nicely.
I'm riding low in California, baby. What you talking about?
What's Kyle gonna say next?
Twitter has replaced autographs, ladies and gentlemen.
Probably something insightful,
The cheese goes right on the bread.
informative, and can't miss.
What does Vegas sound like?
Cha-ching! Just cha-ching!
No, that
Pressure's on, Petty. Heading your way. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And brought to you in part by eHarmony.com. Are you ready to fall in love?
great show on the track, great show above the track here at Las Vegas. This is NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, and we are just barely firing our engines as we get you fired up for race number 3 of the season. Now, when Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus come to this racetrack, they mean business. They've run here 8 times and won 3 of them. That's almost 50% winning percentage for them, so nobody better to go to for our Sunoco pit strategy of the week than crew chief, the Chad.
Okay, so we stay out on the West Coast again this weekend in the middle of the desert, Las Vegas, Nevada, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. What a fantastic racetrack this is. And you think the racing that we had at Daytona and the racing that we had in Fontana was good? This week's going to be even better. We've got the same tire, essentially, than what we had here last year, but the thing that really starts to come into play is the tire doesn't wear an awful lot. So you can go 55, maybe 56 laps on a Sunoco fuel run, but come the end of the race, I think track position is where it's really going to be at. Fuel mileage may come into play because we do get some long green flag runs, but I can promise you, side-by-side racing will be at a premium this weekend. You got some bumps down in 1 and 2, 3 and 4 is relatively smooth. It's going to be action-packed, and it's going to be exciting.
Thank you, Chad. After the checkered flag is waved, be sure to check out NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, and catch all of the race highlights and raw emotions straight from Victory Lane. Also, go to speedtv.com, keyword Sunoco, to enter for your chance to win an autographed flag signed by the winner of today's race. And there is a good chance that Chad Knaus and company could be waving that flag when all is said and done today, because they are on a roll. 'Tis far better to be lucky and to be good, but if you're lucky and good at the same time, you win a lot of NASCAR races. But guys, you know, we saw some strategy last year that you don't normally see at these kind of racetracks, especially with the tire falling off. Clint Boyer and company, they decided to stay out. Got them a second-place finish. What do you see today? Did these guys with a different tire take the same risk?
You've got to take the same risk, and I think Chad and JJ are saying the same thing. Jimmy Johnson's saying the same thing. We talked earlier. Jimmy Johnson says you've got to be aggressive at this racetrack. You've got to be aggressive to get that track position. Chad's saying you've got to make calls to keep that track position, and I think when you look at it, that's what they do. When they don't change tires, if it's gas and go, if it's left sides, if it's right sides, you see some bizarre stuff sometimes just to get track position. And I think they're both saying the same thing. One of us looking at it from a crew chief standpoint, and the other guy's looking at it from a driver's perspective.
Yeah, and if I'm going to bring my driver in and put on 4 new tires, I'm going to pick 2 drivers that stand in my mind right away. One is Jimmy Johnson. The other one is Kyle Busch. Why? Because when they drop the green flag, they sail into turn 1, and they make no bones about it. They go high, not afraid to die. Can they get it done? The dust to be flying. Kyle, those are the 2 drivers that go where nobody should go and pass everybody on a restart with 4 new tires.
And guess what, Kenny Wallace? We have those 2 drivers still to come on this Las Vegas edition of NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch will come by to join us. Jeff Gordon's had success at this racetrack before. So has your points leader, Kevin Harvick. So stay tuned. We'll break it all down when we come back.
We know you love to hear these guys ramble on.
I seen a small child followed by a cow flying through the air.
But we thought you'd like to hear from some of the stars of the real show, too. Jimmy, Mark, Smoke, and Kyle all drop by to chat and save us from ourselves.
I'll meet you in the Kmart parking lot. You want to duke it out?
Around the turn, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
There is one thing we know for sure about Las Vegas. When you come out here for a NASCAR race on any given street corner and any hotel lobby, you see NASCAR race fans flying their colors. They are all over the place, 160,000 strong. They're out today. So we sent our good friend Rutledge Wood to get a flavor of Las Vegas and what it means to have NASCAR come to town.
You know, if you come to Vegas, you got to come to the heart of Las Vegas. Down here at Fremont Street, this is the experience. You get to see the lights, the sounds of old-time Vegas, and I'm going to show you around for a little fun. Let's get going. Is that real zebra? How you doing? I won this in the slots. Is it too much?
No, I'm liking it.
This is what's so great about Vegas. You know, you just make friends. Now here at Fitzgerald's, they've got something a little different. They've got hot penny slots, which I think is a lot like hot potato. They give you a burning penny and you play the slots really quickly. You look like me from the future. I think it's the glasses and you got a little spike going on there.
We're twins.
I think
We're
so.
twins.
Grandpa?
Yeah.
Maybe not mine, someone. You know, they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So it's okay to have an alter ego or two. Vegas, baby, Vegas. Hey, how many kids with ADD does it take to finish an interview? Hey, corn. Look at this. Everybody works hard in Vegas. Downtown in Vegas, you can see some real rock and roll leggings. So how's your week been so far? The best place to watch the hauler parade, I don't know. Uh-oh. I'll be honest, I've been drinking since 7 or 8 this morning. Oh, the oxygen bar. Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Awesome.
How does this work?
It's good for headaches, hangovers. It's 90% oxygen and it goes in through a generator. There's 4 aromas to a machine and you breathe it in through a cannula.
Is that a new one?
Yes, it's disposable every time.
Great. Okay, good. Do I look like a serious journalist?
Yes.
Oh, that's aptly.
So if you want it to be super apple,
Yes, I do.
go ahead and take these off. Just have appletini.
This is great, thank you. I'm having a wonderful time. This is weird, I don't get it. I feel great. I felt really good also before I sat down. Do my eyes look different after that oxygen? You know, the race is in town.
Yes,
And I
and my
thought-
son watches this channel all the time.
Get out, what's his name?
Corey Capel.
Hello, Corey. For $1? This place is magical. Well, I hope you've had fun with us checking out a little different side of Vegas than you usually see. But kids, I think this sign is a good lesson. Just because it's $1.99 doesn't mean you should eat it. I'm pretty sure that's not real shrimp.
That is amazing. That is rock and roll leggings, okay? Sorry, they've got a kiosk and they spell legends wrong, okay? And only Rutledge would pick that out. And how about those necklaces? Big, whatever they were. He's got big, you know what, just to go down there and do that little piece.
I like the lady wasn't too sure what her son's name was.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but hold on. I know a lot of drivers that when they get out of the race cars, they'd like to have some oxygen. Maybe we have to go down the strip, you know, with some oxygen.
I kept waiting for Rutledge with that little oxygen thing on just to drive off on a scooter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, this is pretty easy to get from what Rutledge just did to this next item because it's talking about some serious talent, and we bring it to the racetrack every weekend here on Speed. It's called Fast Track to Fame, and it's one of the fastest moving, most exciting talent shows ever. Take a look at what we found.
Show. We got more excitement. We got more Lottie.
Fast Track to Fame premieres Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It's part of our big Monday night lineup. See some of the wildest stuff that goes on at the racetrack, or at least the stuff that we can show you out in front of the stage as Michael Waltrip as a host and a cast of champions along the way. Let's go to Hermie Sadler, who was a judge.
Well, look at here, JR. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's already pretty famous, but let me tell you, on Fast Track to Fame, we're going to make a lot of talented people famous on Speed. I got to be a part of the first show that'll air Monday night at 8 o'clock, and I was blown away. Had no idea what to expect, but dancers, fiddle players, a guy juggling chainsaws, for crying out loud. A lot of talented people. We had a ball, and I hope the fans will watch it Monday night, 8 o'clock. Myself, Ricky Rackman, Michael Waltrip. I mean, a whole host of characters and a lot of talented people. It's going to be big on Speed on Monday nights, Johnny.
Hermie, thanks a lot. Looks like a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing that. And anytime you got somebody juggling chainsaws, you know you got the right show going on. It's Fast Track to Fame. It premieres Monday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It's all part of a big Monday night lineup where all you got to do is tune into Speed, throw your clicker away, because we start out with NASCAR Race Up, 7:30 Eastern Time. Fast Track to Fame at 8. The Racing Chef cooks up a whole lot at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Sounds of NASCAR, NASCAR in a Hurry. And then What's the Deal with Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement, at 10:30 Eastern Time. And we'll be back to Vegas for more NASCAR Race Day in a moment. His given name was J.C. Elder, but most everyone knew him as Suitcase Jake. Last week, at the age of 73, he died in Statesville, North Carolina. He was called Suitcase Jake because he was very well traveled. He crew chief for many of the best in the business, 2 championships with David Pearson, and he is still known as one of the best ever. Here's former champion Darrell Waltrip.
Jake Elder, he was old school, you know. I mean, he was a great crew chief. I don't know that Jake maybe would fit into the new NASCAR that we have today with all the technology. Jake kept everything he knew in his head. When you got in a Jake Elder car, it drove right, it steered right, and the car handled. And that, a young driver, that gave you a lot of confidence. It gave you a lot of confidence that you could run fast around the super speedway, because a lot of us had never been on tracks that big and cars that went that fast. So having Jake in your corner, and he'd always come to you and grab you by the collar right here and say, boy, you got to listen to me and you got to believe what I'm trying to tell you. And he always had the car set up perfectly. Jake is going to be really missed. He's a legend of the sport. He's an icon when it comes to crew chiefs.
Darrell, thanks. Our good friend Winston Kelly on the passing of Jake Elder says that NASCAR was built on the shoulders of guys like Jake Elder, men who and women who gave their hearts, pioneers who paved the way for the success of the industry that we enjoy today. And Winston, like anybody else, had a lot of memories of Jake Elder. He said one of the most vivid ones was his meticulously prepared cars and how he put it so succinctly as saying when something happened, it blowed up. So grammar wasn't his strongest part, but anyway, you guys, I'm sure both of you had a lot of memories of him, and he had a big impact on your racing careers.
Yeah, I think Kenny worked with him. I was very fortunate to know Jake my entire life. He worked at Petty Enterprises with Don Tilley, and he worked at Petty Enterprises when I was born, I think. He won 2 championships with Pearson, went on to help Dale Sr. win the Rookie of the Year title in '79. And you know, it's funny, when guys like this, when we lose guys like this in the sport, I always think guys in the garage area right now would count themselves lucky to be able to spend an hour in the presence of a guy like Jake Elder, because he was just such a great guy, knew so much about cars, knew so much, and loved the sport. And my sympathy goes out to his son Randy and his family, because he was just an incredible guy.
Oh, Suitcase Jake. In 1984, I was in St. Louis, Missouri, and was not a race car driver yet, and I dreamed of going NASCAR, as we in the Midwest or North would say, we're going to go south. I moved down there, and my very first boss ever was Jake Elder. And I'll never forget this. Jake was very clean, always polished his shoes, and he handed me an alarm clock. You know, you'd plug in, you know, you had the old knob on it. And I said, Jake, why are you giving me an alarm clock? He says, I don't like for my people to be late. And I was the car chief back in those days, and I love Jake Elder, and it's just sad that he's gone. But, you know, time flies, and, boy, what a great crew chief.
And he always had the best of quotes, didn't he?
He said one. Here was a great Jake Elder quote. He said, he'd grab me and say, stick with me, kid. We're going to have diamonds as big as horse turds one day. And I'll never forget. And he'd always say, listen to me. And you're like, darn, Jake, quit grabbing. But he was so intense. Listen to me.
And that's why he was so successful along the way. Still known as one of the best in the business, Suitcase Jake will be missed. Jimmy Johnson is a 4-time champion, a 3-time winner at this racetrack. He's hoping to add another one today, and we'll talk to the champ a little bit later on in the program. Ladies and gentlemen, there's never been a better time to go to the Atlanta Motor Speedway and check out a race. That was the winning car last time we raced in Atlanta, and save $100 with the Speed Fanatic ticket package. To order, be sure to log on to speedtv.com, keyword promo, and go see if Kurt Busch can make it 2 in a row at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, this is a huge race for anybody with a last name of Busch here in Las Vegas. Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch always like to put on their best show in front of the hometown fans, and Kurt's already off to a great start as he set a record in taking the pole position on Friday. Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Well, thanks, Johnny. And it's hard to believe it was 2007 at California, the last time Kurt Busch sat on a pole. And you said that yesterday. How good does it feel to be up there on top? Because you're always qualifying well, just never the pole.
Yeah, it's always been tough to get a pole with this new car. That's where I've struggled with the COT. So it feels good to accomplish that and to get the feel for it, so to speak, and now knowing what we have to shoot for next time.
Now, this track has changed a lot. We have a different tire here for today's race than we've had in the past. How do you feel in the car about how the track has changed and how that tire is affecting it?
Yeah, the left side tire is softer, so the speeds are much quicker. It's helping the car really hug the bottom of the track. Then you'll see guys move up. So this track's going to change a lot today. The groove's going to widen out, and the fast lane could be up top later on, but it just depends. You never know, but at the end, it's going to be a fast, blistering pace to win this race.
All right, we're only 2.5 races in, 3 after today. Your crew chief, Steve Addington, how are things? How would you assess it so far, 3 races? It's still the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, I'd give it a B+, A-. I mean, we've been in contention to win 1 out of the 2 races so far, and then today I feel like we have a race-winning car, so let's call that 2 out of 3. That's good, and then when you're making calls and getting a feel off of each other, we're on the same page right now. We just want to make sure that we get our cars running top 5 each week coming up in the next few weeks.
Now, when we come to Las Vegas, this is your hometown. Fans didn't see you. You just ran up to the camera. You've been a very busy person this morning. What's the coolest part about coming back to Las Vegas for you?
It's just all the family and all the friends. In the autograph line, I'm seeing people. My old Little League baseball coach is back there waving, and just everybody coming up through the line saying hello, good luck. It's just the cool hometown feel, and I'm feeling the pressure from the crowd, and I want to go do it for him.
All right, good luck to Kurt Busch. His best finish at Las Vegas has been 3rd. Now let's head over to Hermie Sadler with last week's winner.
Well, thank you, Wendy, and got the champ, Jimmy Johnson. And you guys have made a habit the last couple of years of not having a good run at Daytona and coming back at California and righting the ship. Congratulations on a big win last week.
Thank you. I'd love to get Daytona figured out, especially with the HBO show we had going on. And I think we had a really good shot at the end of the race. We fought some issues with track position and stuff, and flat tire from that pothole and all. But still, that's Daytona's behind us. Last weekend went great for the whole race team. Great pit stops, great Cobalt Tools race car on the racetrack. And this weekend's going well. I didn't qualify like I had hoped. I don't really know why, because we were really fast in practice. I know going first didn't help, but Junior went out right after us and laid down an awesome lap. So just missed it a little there, I guess. But today we're really optimistic. The sun is out, and I'm very happy to see that for our setup. We were very fast yesterday, and I think we're in good shape.
How do you guys balance of being, the team that everybody's trying to knock off, and you guys have run well, but how do you know when to sit on what you've got at the racetrack and when to push the envelope to learn new stuff? Because without testing, you've got to pick and choose your moments.
Truth of the matter is you can't sit still. I mean, you have what has worked for you there to fall back on if things go wrong. But with this garage area, as competitive as it is and the way NASCAR regulates everything, you've got to show up every week and put everything you can into your cars, because if not, you'll run 15th or 20th at best. So, we're always advancing our cars, and we really just try to focus on what this 48 team is doing. The last 4 years, it's worked very well for us, and we don't want to get caught up in what someone else is doing or how someone else is running. We know if we do our jobs, we'll be competitive.
How about an early start time? Usually we start later in the afternoon and kind of cools off some before the race is over, but today, completely opposite. It's going to get hotter and a little bit slicker as the day goes on. Does that concern you?
No, I like it. The hotter the racetrack, the better it is for this 48 team, and gives me a chance to get to the tables tonight, too, so I'm excited for that.
And by the way, you are very lucky, by the way. It should work out good for you, but only one bad thing. You got the second ugliest glasses in the garage other than my brother. Congratulations.
Fantastic. And you're a style king of some sort, I'm sure?
No, sir, I'm not, but just trying to give you a little rib there. That's Jimmy Johnson starting 20th, but he won't stay there long, JR.
Yeah, you can bet on that, Hermie. Here in Vegas, they call Frank Sinatra the chairman of the board. When it comes to racing at Vegas lately, Jimmy Johnson has been the chairman of the board. He's come somewhat of a legend himself with 4 championships. But we got to talk about legend race cars. These little race cars that have keyed the careers of guys like Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, among others. Bruton Smith is going to have a quarter-mile Charlotte Motor Speedway track. It's an invitational event, and $1 million is up for grabs. To find out more, go to that website. When you ask some race car drivers what their biggest win is, many will tell you if they won the Brickyard or if they won the Daytona 500. But for the driver of the number 18, one of the biggest victories of his life was winning in front of his hometown fans here at Las Vegas last season.
It's high stakes, it's high noon here in the Nevada desert. Kyle Busch having to start from the rear of the field. He qualified first. His brother Kurt Busch qualified on the outside of the front row.
Have fun out there, Kurt. We'll go get him at the end, man. Carton gets towards the front. It's going to be a good one.
The drive of the green flag, we're underway in the Shelby 427.
That was pretty comfortable to get started there. What do we shoot for? Caution's out. Caution's out for a smoker. How the hell we could blow up in lap 1? Come to us, Matt. Start off and come to us.
It doesn't appear Matt Kenseth will win 3 in a row this afternoon. Jimmy Johnson will have the lead, but he's got company.
Fastest 2 laps of your day, buddy. Last 2 laps. Fastest 2 of your day. Second foot has put the hammer down. Woo!
Greg Biffle now going after the top spot.
It's incredible how fast this thing is. The bottom's good. It's just that I can't arc it in like I did yesterday. I'm hauling ass if I just drive it straight. We're going to lose the 3 and 4 now. Can hardly drive it. He's slowing down considerably. Obviously, we're slowing down because he is, but you know, he's going to slip up. You can get him.
Move Kyle Busch up 1 more spot and continuing to move forward.
Tighten me up some more, just a little bit. Don't want to go super much here, just some.
Greg Biffle, he's getting some heat now from Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, we're better than that 16, I think. Step 4. Believe you're the best car out there. Everybody do their job. We're going to be good when it matters. Caution's out. Caution's out for debris. Here's what I'm thinking, buddy. We're going to back up just a little bit, play a little cautious here. I'm going to get you a little piece of tape off the grill. Try and take care of that oil tan. And don't let that 48 come without us. Jeff, if you see that 48 pitting, we need to be on pit road with him.
We had a big mistake. Jeff Gordon had trouble coming off of turn 4.
Flooded left front tire out. 99 and them are about to run us over. Can't just come to pit road like that. Turn up. Come on, guys. Back him up, back him up, back him up, back him up. Pushing the clutch. Hit this time. Put left sides on it. 40-50, nothing coming. 40-50, 40-50 to the yellow.
Clint Boyer, who chose not to visit the pit lane, will be the race leader. Behind him right now will be Jeff Burton.
It won't turn. It won't turn at all.
Guess who? Kyle Busch comes from the back to lead this race, taking it away from Jeff Burton.
Say goodnight, Gracie. Thank you, guys. I don't believe it. This is awesome. Yes.
The favorite son of Las Vegas, Kyle Busch, will win the Shelby 427.
Say goodnight, Gracie. Everybody will remember that Kyle got the pole and won the race last year, but what a lot of people are forgetting, remember, he had to go to the back of the pack, and that's no easy task.
But I think my man Kenny Wallace mentioned it earlier. There's 2 drivers that you want to put 4 tires on, and you don't mind if they go to the back and fight their way. Because when they go into that turn 1, that we saw it last week at California. Kyle drove around about 5 wide on the outside of California.
Good drivers.
Yeah, good drivers. But I'm just saying, he's one of the guys that can come from the back to the front. We saw it with Jimmy Johnson at Dover last year, but we see it with Kyle Busch on a regular basis.
Yeah, now we joke about this all the time. We always say that they're cryable races in NASCAR, and if you cry after a non-cryable racer, you know NASCAR probably should fine you like 25 points or something like this. Okay, Daytona 500, cryable race.
Yes.
Brickyard 400, cryable race. Win at your hometown.
Cryable race.
Yeah, you could cry after that.
Well, you know, it's like both the Busch brothers say. You know, we come to Vegas, you have to put yourself in their shoes. You know, you're a little kid, you're going through grade school, and you're playing Little League baseball, and you make it to the big leagues, but you're still the same person. So the Busch boys, they come back to Vegas, and they're doing an autograph session, and your Little League baseball coach comes up.
That's cool.
And that's pretty big.
And it is cool. I mean, there's 43 drivers. How many drivers can say they race in their hometown? Everybody talks about Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson being hometown guys when you get to the state of California. Okay?
They get the whole state,
The
man.
whole state, you know what I mean? Or this guy's from Arizona, or this guy's from Washington. How many guys can say you race in that city? And these are two guys that, just like you say, they're elementary school teachers, they're football coaches, baseball coaches, whoever. Their friends can come out and see them because this is their hometown.
And you know what? This is a very small community, the NASCAR community. Only 43 drivers and 43 crew chiefs on any given Sunday. So here's kind of an interesting twist of fate with the Busch brothers. Of course, Kyle Busch last year gets a new crew chief in Dave Rogers, and then his old crew chief goes over to crew chief, his brother, Kurt Busch. Steve Addington goes over there. So what do you think about the pairing so far with these new crew chiefs?
Well, I think they're both great crew chiefs, and I've always said that anything in life, and especially racing, is all about timing. I've seen drivers, well, Casey Mears comes to mind right away. Casey Mears at the end of last year was the #1 performing Richard Childress driver. This year, the poor kid is driving for a team and has not made a race. You got to be kidding me. So, see, that's what this sport will do to you. So it's all about timing and getting everything together.
Yeah, and when you talk about crew chief pairings, I think, you know, you could work with a crew chief, John could work with a crew chief, Kenny could work with a crew chief, and never get along with them. I work with them, and we become best friends, and we're best friends forever. You work with somebody I can't work with, and y'all become best friends. And it's all about that relationship. You see it with Chad, you see it with Jimmy, you saw it with Ray Everham, you saw it with Jeff. I mean, there's been different times. Dale Inman, Richard Petty, we can go back through history. Those guys bond, and that's what it takes sometimes.
You know, me and Kenny don't get along with anybody. So.
That's why I'm in the middle. That's why I'm in the middle.
Exactly.
I always get along better with the crew chief that's hard on me because he makes me listen.
And believe me, that's tough to do. We can speak first person about that.
What?
You know, it's been a big week. What? It's been a big week for Kyle and Kurt Busch coming home, but it's also been a pretty big week for Marcus Ambrose. We gave him a camera and turned him on the loose.
So what are we doing today?
We're climbing those mountains there behind us. So it's actually the highest peak is Mount Baldy. It's 10,000 feet. There's plenty of snow up there, so we may not get to the top of the Mount Baldy, but we're going to try and climb one of those at least. Me and Trip Wheeler, the camera guy, we're going to try and walk to the top. Looks pretty snowbound up there, so we're not sure we're going to make it all the way to the top, but we're going to give it a shot. Worst case, we're just going to get our feet wet and maybe slide 4,000 feet to our imminent death.
Yeah, and if we don't make it, we love our mothers.
Yeah, I love you, Mum. Love you, Sonia. Nice knowing you all. Well, here we are. We're just about to start the really steep part of the trail. We've got a bit of snow already on the ground, but we see some paw prints. They look like little bears to me. Could be a big dog too, I don't know. Anyway, all the stuff I read was you just got to watch the rams at this time of year because they're mating in the springtime, but we're underprepared, not ready for what we're about to do, but it's a beautiful day. We expect nice weather, so we'll get climbing here. The track just here gets pretty narrow, as you can see. It starts to pretty much walk into a single wide track. We're about 1,200 feet from the top. With these shoes are getting pretty slick. The ground's getting a lot of snow on it. We're passing a lot of guys with clamp-ons and ski poles and skis. So we think it's best to finish our day here. The view is just absolutely spectacular. Again, it's amazing it's so close to LA. It's just quite incredible that you can have this in your backyard. It really is a great secret and a little treasure that I found a couple of years back. But you know, racing's great, but it's also good to get away from it for a while, and that's what today's all about. Trip's been good company. And we're going to climb down now, maybe not even climb, maybe slide down to the bottom, and we'll see you at Vegas.
Well, Marcus Ambrose, you had a pretty big week, and we appreciate you letting us follow you around. That was a lot of fun.
It really was, and that was only half of it too. The other half I couldn't film. But it's been a big week for me. I thought I was going to have a rest when I came out to the West Coast in between races, but it didn't work out that way. But we're having a great time here. We've got a fast car for the race. Grilling season is racing season for us, so we're all about Kingsford this weekend, and we're excited to have them on board and ready to go.
I know after last year you had to have really high expectations heading into this season. I know the first two races hadn't gone as you would have scripted them. How do you keep that open mind and that confidence that you have that this week will be the week you get back on track?
Well, we've taken a pretty big hit in our points haul, and we've had the worst start you could possibly imagine to our season. So
all we can do from here is move forward, and we're excited about today's race. I'm not going to think about anything else but to try and win. That's the only way I think we can get ourselves out of the hole is by good performances. So we're going to go for it.
Well, tell me about your race car. I know practice yesterday was cool and kind of overcast. Today's going to be sunny and slick. Does that concern you at all?
Well, it's going to change it a lot. We were really happy with our car on Saturday. We had a terrible Friday. We qualified 30th or 32nd, somewhere back there. So we've got a lot of work to do, but we've actually set our car up for these greasy track conditions. We knew the sun was going to pop out. We knew the nationwide race was going to really throw some rubber down this track, and we're going to run the top, I think. I think most guys are going to start heading up there pretty early, and we've set our car up for it, so hopefully it works out.
Well, the first two races of the season, not what Marcus Ambrose wanted, but a lot of confidence and high expectations heading today that he'll get back on track and get his way back up to the top of the point standings.
Hermie, thanks a lot. And race fans, just in case you were wondering, the sign over Marcus Ambrose's shoulder, yes, there is a spa inside the Neon Garage, a full-service spa. You can go in there and get a massage or anything, but that's beside the point right now. We're talking about the 47 team and Marcus Ambrose, very closely associated with Michael Waltrip Racing. But, Kenny, he hasn't had the success so far this season that some of the other MWR cars are having.
Marcus Ambrose is a proven driver. He had a lot of respect before he even got in a NASCAR-type race car because of all of his road course success over in Australia. So, boom, you're like, he's kind of like, you know, Juan Pablo Montoya. You know he's good. And last year, Cinderella year, man, it's like he's coming on. Always happens. Always happens. Second year, you know, it's like, what's going on? His performance is better this year, but he's just having a lot of motor failures. Last week, motor failure at California really hurt him. But he's loved throughout the garage area because he's a good guy all the time.
It has an infectious smile. You always love to see that smile on Marcus Ambrose's
face. And he talks
face.
weird.
Never goes. He doesn't talk weird.
He talks weird.
Yeah, we got Emporia, Virginia meeting Tasmania, Australia there. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Kenny Wallace calls him Mark the Kid Martin from Batesville, Arkansas. A lot of race fans out there simply call him the man. We'll talk to Mark Martin in a moment.
While Vegas is relatively new to the circuit, it's become one of NASCAR's most visible tracks. We'll tell you how Sin City has upped its stature in only 12 races. Straight ahead, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
Welcome back, everyone, to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot in Las Vegas. Kenny Wallace is dancing, Kyle Petty is tweeting, and we're getting ready to continue rolling on with this show as we get ready for race number 3 of the season. You know, with 12 races, the history by NASCAR standards of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway is relatively short. And over that history, only 4 drivers in the race today have raced in all 12 races. Of course, Mark Martin is one of those veterans, and he's standing by with Wendy Venturini.
And he was a winner here in 1998, our first race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Mark, one of the drivers to compete at all the races here at Las Vegas, 12 of them. How has this track changed over the years?
Well, it's changed a lot. You know, they changed the configuration here a few years ago, put more banking into it. I like the old track to start with. This one is faster. It's a little more racy. The pavement has really gotten good. It's matured to the point where you can run all over the track now. It's going to be a great race today.
You talk about the pavement. We have a different tire. How bumpy is this racetrack now?
Oh, it's rough. It was rough when they repaved it, so I don't know that it's gotten any worse. It was pretty rough to start with, and it's a great challenge for the race teams. It makes you have to compromise for the bumps, you know, and for turn 3 and 4, the bumps in 1. That's what racing's all about. It's compromise and challenges.
Is there any one part of the racetrack that you and Alan have really focused on for this weekend?
That black part, that whole part that's black out there.
Now, when we're 3 races in, 2.5 races in, what do you hope to accomplish in, say, the next 10 races? Is it just wins?
Yeah, I just want to do a great job. You know, we have such an awesome race team, and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports with the engines and the chassis and the fabrication, all my team, all my crew. You know, I think all of us just want to do a good job.
All right, good luck to Mark Martin. He's headed into the drivers' meeting. There's a definite buzz out here with all the fans having access. Johnny?
Man, sounds like a lot of fun out there, Wendy. The fans are loud. Well, they're loud out here, too, with us, everywhere at Vegas. You know what? Mark Martin, at this point of last season, you thought things just weren't going to go well for him. The blown motor at Fontana, bad luck in the Daytona 500, and along the way, you thought maybe this isn't a great match for Mark. Here he comes back, finishes up in the point standings.
I said this last year, and I remember myself saying, and this is the perfect time to repeat it. I said these drivers are so good in NASCAR that 9 3/4% of the time out of 10, it's not going to be the driver's fault. It's going to be mechanical failure. Mark Martin had 2 motor failures last year, Daytona, California. This year he's rolling. He's in the 6th position, Kyle. And, you know, I just don't think that Mark's going to hurt himself. It's going to be part failure.
No, and we saw it with Jimmy Johnson. You talk about Daytona and Jimmy Johnson, mechanical failure. How many times can we say Hendricks has had mechanical failure?
It's rare.
In the history of Hendrick Motorsports. And that's a rare thing. But, you know, you look at him and Mark says, what part do you concentrate on? That black part out there, the whole racetrack. He talks about the racetrack maturing. I think it's a totally different racetrack than we've seen here in the past. And with the new tire, it's a totally different race.
Absolutely, and totally different racetrack as of a couple years here with the big facelift on this racetrack. Progressive banking here, and guys, we are in for a great show this afternoon, and you can see it on your local Fox affiliate. We're cooking up a big show, and they're cooking up a lot of good grub inside the infield here. Got to feed your team if you're going to perform all day long. We'll be back. Welcome, everyone, to NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot. Race number 3 of the season brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada, and also the Shelby American race. Shelby speaks for itself. We'll have more on that later, but hometown hero Kyle Busch won this race last time we were here. Had to do it from the back of the pack, but it was brother Kurt who's off to the better start this time around with a record-setting performance on qualifying day. He has the pole, and he will lead us to the green flag this afternoon. Kevin Harvick tried, but could not catch Jimmy Johnson. A little scrape from the wall, though, was not enough to keep Kevin Harvick from taking over the top position in points. He comes in as your Sprint Cup points leader. Let's take a look at the standings, see who's running where after 3 races this season. Kevin Harvick first, teammate Clint Boyer second, then the 5th. Jamie McMurray after the Daytona 500 win is running 4th. Jeff Burton and Mark Martin. It's Matt Kenseth in the 7th spot. And how about David Rudiman and Joey Logano off to great starts? The proud father, Carl Edwards, in the 99 up there as well. Kyle Busch, 1 spot outside of the top 12, as is Brian Vickers and teammate Scott Speed, who is off to a great start this year. Dale Jr. 16th, Tony Stewart 17th, and Paul Menard running in the 18th spot right now. Juan Pablo Montoya is in the 23rd spot, but that is not indicative of where that team has run so far this year. Little bit of irony that in a city that's known for luck, we have the unlucky number 13 on this race. It's the 13th race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but it has been anything but bad luck for NASCAR when they made the decision to come to Las Vegas.
Just beyond the big lights of the Strip sat the desert dirt and a dream. Bring stock car racing to Las Vegas, an untapped market waiting for NASCAR's adrenaline rush.
National destination is Las Vegas. The excitement that's generated in the region is important, and it's a lot of fun too. It's exciting.
When you have Richie building the type of facility that we're building here, it'll be second to none in the world. You'll see everybody beating a path to your door over this.
Construction began on the $200 million facility in 1995.
102,000 seats are up, the potential of 315,000. There are 102 skyboxes and luxury suites over there, all of which have been sold.
From NASCAR's standpoint, we're extremely pleased to be a part of it. We're looking forward to coming here November 2nd and 3rd. It'll be the biggest truck race we've ever run.
Once construction was complete, what is now known as the Camping World Truck Series made its debut in 1996, shortly followed by the NASCAR Nationwide Series in early 1997.
175 laps in the richest, longest, what promises to be the fastest Craftsman Truck Series event ever.
If you even talked about it 3 or 4 years ago, everyone would have said, oh no, there won't be a racetrack in Las Vegas. And this is proven to be an absolutely tremendous racetrack, and the drivers are saying you may see the best race all year long right here.
NASCAR brought its top-tier racers in the Sprint Cup Series to the Speedway in 1998. The outcome? A record sellout.
107,000 people are here. The race was sold out in less than a day. They're set for racing at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and the green flag waves.
Within 12 years of its opening, Las Vegas Motor Speedway has become a favorite among some of NASCAR's elite.
The winner of the inaugural Las Vegas 400, Mark Martin.
We won, buddy.
Once again is a battle of the Burton brothers. Ward and Jeff running first and second. Brotherly love could turn to a brotherly shove. Jack Roush, whose cars and trucks have won here in NASCAR's 3 Premier Series a total of 11 times in 27 races. Those are pretty good odds.
Can you say 3-peat?
Jimmy Johnson wins the UAW Daimler Chrysler 400, his 3rd Las Vegas victory.
Kyle Busch in that 18 car sat on the pole, had to go to the rear of the field because of the engine change. He's going to drive by Jeff Burton to take the lead.
In 2006, Las Vegas reconfigured its track, pit road, and added more grandstand seating, taking the Speedway venue to a new level.
Since we were here a year ago, Bruton Smith, the men and women working on this track, spent 3 million hours, over 1,000 people, to renovate this spectacular facility.
43 cars, 400 miles, new untested racetrack.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Viva Las Vegas, boys, go racing.
NASCAR made a bold move in 2009, shifting the Champions Banquet from New York City, where it had been held since 1981, to Las Vegas, only solidifying the Speedway as one of NASCAR's most visible tracks. What started out as desert dirt and a dream now shines like a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, what a great place it is to come out here. I don't know anybody that doesn't like to come to Vegas, but you know what? When you go to Daytona and a lot of the other great tracks, you're going there for the track. This is probably the one destination where a lot of people come just as much for the city as they do for this great racetrack.
It's great for fans just because you can come here and see a great cup race, a great nationwide race, great truck racing. Doesn't make any difference. But when you leave the racetrack, it's a great experience to be here, too.
You can go lose a lot of money.
Yeah, all roads lead to Vegas. Well, hey, the fans might as well lose as much money as some of the race guys do when they come out here when we race. I mean, what the heck, man?
You know, one thing that amazes me is this racetrack was built, it was done. And for Bruton Smith to go ahead and spend millions of dollars for you fans, that neon garage down there, you go down there, it's like being at Orlando theme park. I mean, you come to see a race, and you go down there, and there's Elvis dancing and Ric Flair strutting, baby, and I mean, it's a show here in Vegas.
Kyle Petty impersonators and...
No, that was me.
Somebody, that was actually you. That was really,
I'm sorry.
Somebody asked me to do this. They haven't seen this in a long time. A couple shows for you all. String dance. Woo!
There we go.
And then
you can see that in the neon
Ric Flair, baby. Woo! Woo! And then woo! Championship belt. That's for all you tweeters out there.
And you know what? Someone's going to walk away today with the championship belt. Yes. The trophy is the big belt. Kenny Wallace usually puts it on, so you got to tune in for Victory Lane to check that out. Now,
Kyle's putting it on this year.
Like a headband.
The Shelby American Company was founded by legendary car builder Carroll Shelby, and it manufactures high-performance automobiles and parts. They're located right near this racetrack, so we sent Greg Biffle and Kyle Petty to find out what it's all about.
All right, Greg, here we are in Vegas. Big sign, man. First thing you see when you leave the airport. Perfect. What have you been doing all week?
Well, all week this week we've been out in the sand dunes, which is about 200 miles from here, Death Valley, California. Had the sand car out, did a little camping and hanging out, and had a good time.
Well, when you come to Vegas, I don't normally think about going out in the desert with a sand car and doing any of that stuff. Most of the time I think about going downtown, seeing some shows, spending some money, buying my wife a gift so I can get back in the house when I get home from Vegas. But we're going to go see some stuff right now that normally we don't see. A little bit off the beaten path of Vegas.
Absolutely. We're going to go see some cool cars.
Let's go, babe. All right, I'm here at the Carroll Shelby Museum in Las Vegas. Would you gamble on anything in here?
I would. I would gamble on that's probably one of the coolest cars I've ever seen.
We're going to get to that car in a minute. So the manufacturer's suggested retail price, $7,995.
I imagine they're a skosh more today.
Just a touch.
And you can get them in fiberglass. You can still get them in the aluminum fiberglass, but they also make them now in carbon fiber.
This is the original Shelby Cobra. This is #1. How much do you think this is worth?
I just heard that they've been offered $27 million for it.
$27 million.
And I'd expect maybe new interior for
$27 million. I'm touching a $27 million car right here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's me touching it.
Think about the size of this car. This thing has a big block in it. It has a 427 in it. You can't even buy anything like this today. You know, of this size car that has this kind of power. Look at the craftsmanship, the aluminum.
Polished aluminum. All these cars are aluminum. They built these cars. You can still get these cars, okay? But this was the Mac Daddy from about 62 until they came out with the Mustang in 65. This was the Mac Daddy Shelby. If you wanted it, this was it. In the museum here, we have other models too. Obviously, we have the Mustang here, the 350. This is before your time.
Yeah, the hood pins?
Yeah.
In case you get going too fast.
Yeah, but this was bad to the bone, man. If you had a car in high school with hood pins, chicks loved you.
It was fast.
Chicks loved you, baby.
I like that.
That's what it was all about, man. When they made this Mustang, they went out and they taped this car at speed to get the soundtrack on what this thing sounds like, what the exhaust tone sounds like.
Really?
Okay? And they've duplicated the exhaust on that one so that this one sounds like that one.
Really?
Okay, so we're gonna fire this one up. Hey, can y'all hear me? That's pretty cool right there. All right, we had a good tour here at Carroll Shelby's Museum. Now they're gonna let us take the pace car out for a spin, so you're driving.
Excellent.
I'm getting in the passenger seat.
I can't wait.
All right, man.
Good.
What is that?
Hey, man.
What is that?
I'm just in here waiting for you guys all
Rutledge Wood.
afternoon.
Where have you been?
Just right back here. Let's take a ride,
Well,
man.
get back in there, man. Get back in there.
go.
Let me fix the seat. Let's go. What is that? Woo! Rutledge Wood in the car. Thanks for letting us come. See y'all later. Thanks for the parting gift. Thanks for the car. See y'all. Thanks for the parting gift. I was like, man, we left that place. What a cool car. But what a cool place. When you go to Carroll Shelby's, you go in there, and that's the original Shelby. $27 million they've been offered for that car. You go in the back, but it looks like Hendricks. It looks like Roush. It looks like, you know, some of the other race teams. It is a race shop in the back where they build those Cobras, and it is truly amazing. On the other side, they put together the Mustangs, but it is truly, Carroll Shelby is a legend in the automotive industry, so to get to spend some time with him and Greg Biffle was a fairly special day for me.
Yeah, now here's the question. Does Rutledge have to use a child safety seat in the back seat of a car?
I don't know how Rutledge Wood got in the back seat of that car. I mean, I think they just poured him in there, man. It was cool.
Hey, we got something real neat coming up for you race fans. If you like old cars, you got to watch Barrett Jackson. You probably already do, but this coming up edition of Barrett Jackson will sell the serial number 350 2011 GT 350 with no reserve on April 3rd at the Barrett Jackson. The 2011 Shelby GT 350 was unveiled, and you don't want to miss that event.
That car's a cool car. Carroll Shelby's going to drive it. So whoever buys it, Carroll Shelby drove it.
We'll be back with much more NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot. It's Vegas, baby, and we're getting closer and closer to green flag time.
Is there anybody here? I don't see anybody. Oh, there they are.
Another race, another solid finish for the 29. We're headed back to Cali to show you how Harvick put up his solid finish.
Harvick scoots around the outside, and he now goes to the point of the Auto Club 500.
And climbed to the top of the standings. Coming at you, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, everyone. 160,000 fans cannot be wrong. They are here to see what they are looking forward to as a great show on the racetrack among NASCAR's best. Now, young driver Joey Logano has only run once here at this racetrack, but he finished in the 13th position. Not too bad for a first time. He hopes to better that. So now Joey's going to show us how to get around the place.
Hey, this is Joey Logano, and this is your Home Depot Hot Lap. Last week we were out in California, had a really good run, got a top 5 finish. Really did a good job, I think, as a team. You know, I was happy to come out of there with the top 5. It's one of the places we struggled a lot last year, so that definitely gives us a lot of momentum. Now we're here in Vegas. We got to learn a lot as a team and practice here and working on our Home Depot Toyota. I feel like we got a really good car. You know, we'll have to see. You know, we'll keep working on this thing, and you know, hopefully in the race we'll make a lot of adjustments and come close to it. As a driver here at Vegas, one of the things you notice, it's got a ton of speed. This is a very fast racetrack, a ton of grip. You know, you look at these turns, they're not banked a whole bunch, and it holds your car up. and there's a lot of bumps in 1 and 2, and it's hard trying to get your car to handle over those bumps and keeping the balance good around the rest of the track too. So that's one of the toughest things we got to deal with. My goals are really high here. Hopefully, become at least a top 10. I feel like we might be able to get more than that. But as long as we keep getting good, consistent finishes and keep our car in the top 12, that's the big deal for us right now.
Thanks to Joey Logano, and best of luck to him today on the racetrack. You know, a city like Las Vegas has probably had some pretty famous facelifts over the years, but that's among the stars down on the Strip. Right here, we're talking about a facelift for a racetrack that cost a lot of money, certainly Kenna Wallace, and made for better racing, but also there's still a bump there that you got to be worried about.
All racetracks have a little bit of character, and you know, you can't ask for a racetrack to be perfect. Here we are through turns 1 and 2. Well, because there's a couple tunnels underneath there, the asphalt settles, and it's not very smooth, and the cars go bouncing and they end up getting in the wall. Here we are in turn 3, Kyle Petty, but right there is the bump, and there's a couple of them. And if the bump stops are not set perfectly on the car, bump stops are this. The right front suspension runs on a spring, but then it goes down and hits a bump, stops it. And Kyle, it's hard. And so when you hit those bumps, you take off.
Yeah, and look, I've not driven a car in a couple of years. But you can watch the cars as they go down, and especially going in turn 1, they go down and you'll see them start to almost, it looks like a basketball right about the time it's about to stop bouncing. And they'll just bounce and the car takes off up the racetrack. And you know, and it gets worse out here because the summers are so hot out here, the asphalt settles. It just, like he said, it just matures.
Let's go down now to Hermie Sadler, who's trackside. Hermie?
Yeah, and I want to add, guys, that, you know, a lot of people listening at home may say, why would you want bumps on a racetrack? They need to fix them, but no, they don't. I think those bumps in turn 1 obviously give this track some character. It also gives the teams and crew chiefs an opportunity to get better over the bumps than their competitors, and it can separate the field. It can be a big difference between winning or losing this race. So I definitely think having a little bit of character in a racetrack can separate these teams and give them a chance to go to work to help their car in that area. But this is a great racetrack, 20 degrees, progressive banking. It's fast, and you can run the bottom or the top. You'll see cars all over this racetrack today.
Hermie, thanks a lot. Progressive banking means the higher you get up on the racetrack, the higher the degree of banking. But we've seen some engine failures at this place over the years. But 400 miles, that means guys are obviously pushing it to the limits.
Yeah, you know, I think guys are pushing it to the limits at the shop before they get here. You know, we don't see a lot. We always see a lot of valve train trouble during the course of the year. You'll see rocker arms, you'll see valve springs break, you'll see a lot of stuff like that. But last week at California, we saw a lot of bottom end stuff. We saw a lot of smoke coming out of a couple of these cars, which means that you've got, you know, you got bearing problems, you got oiling problems, you got stuff that breaks, timing chains, things like that, for whatever reason. So, you know, I think these guys, when you're chasing Jimmy Johnson, let's just be honest, when somebody's setting a standard like that, you're going to push the limits on things. You're going to push the limits on inspection. You're going to push the limits as a driver, and some of these engine builders are pushing the limits.
You know, a couple of things I think that are adding to these blown motors last week. Hey, we have cool temperatures, but now we have that softer, more flexible tire. And so I don't think we're dropping RPMs as much in the middle of the corner. The motors are staying higher on RPMs than I think they did last year. Who knows? It's just something I dreamed up, and I think that's what's going on.
And that's not like much of the stuff that Kenny Wallace dreams of. We'll get into that a little bit later.
I dream a lot, baby. I'm a dreamer.
Hey, better late than never, but we did get the Nationwide Series race in yesterday, and it was a great day for the number 33 team and driver Kevin Harvick. They call him Happy Harvick, and he had to be happy with this run.
Well, I think it's awesome for Kevin Harvick because he built this team on his own. Remember, he doesn't drive for Richard Childress anymore. This is his own team, Kyle. Good win.
Yeah, it was a huge win. And I'm going to tell you what, when he qualified the other day, we were on speed, we were doing qualifying. Could not believe the lap he laid down for qualifying. I mean, it was like, where did that lap come from? But Kevin, and a lot was made yesterday about some of the things Kevin was talking to his crew chief or to his pit crew about. But let me tell you something, man. He came to win the race. That's what he did, and he expects you guys in the pits and everybody else out there to step up like he stepped up.
Now, if you don't believe Danica Mania is alive and well, all you got to do here at Las Vegas is go check out her souvenir hauler. It's 5-8 rows deep of people, but take a look at what happened to Danica out on the racetrack yesterday. There's Danica starting pretty well in the back of the pack, in the 20s, but avoids one wreck, and then it wasn't the case a little bit later on.
And you know what? That guy right there, Michael McDowell, blew a tire. She done a great job. Look at Harvick saying, "Thank you, good job, girl."
I thought he was saying, "Call me."
I think he's.
Sorry, I missed that. I missed that. I missed that.
Here's somebody she may call this week. She's none too happy with this. Michael McDowell on the high side. Oops.
Yeah. You know what? That's a wreck.
That is a wreck, and that's all it is.
And let me be honest. I think Danica Patrick is a good girl. I really care for her. She's doing right. It's the media making a big deal out of her. But that was a wreck. If it would have been any other wreck, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody would be talking about it either. You know, it was a thing, and I think when I look at it, you know, I have to say that Danica's guest appearance on Fast Track to Fame is over, okay? So we're not going to hear about it for the next 4 or 5 months, I guess, while she goes back and runs open wheel. But at the same time, you know, that could have happened to you. That could have happened to me. You know, I think she doesn't know the drivers. We've talked about this. You're not used to racing with a Michael McDowell. You're not used to racing with a Kenny Wallace. You come in, she didn't know which direction he was going in. He chose one way. It was a bad decision for him. It was a bad decision for her, and it was a racing accident.
And Danica will leave NASCAR for 4 months now. She has 3 races of her 13-race schedule under her belt already. She'll be back in, about midsummer. Let's now go to Wendy Venturini, who's standing by with a hometown favorite.
Yes, definitely the hometown favorite when we come to Las Vegas, the defending race winner. Are you still on the euphoria of the win here in your hometown, even though it was a year ago?
Pretty much. I mean, we've been coming out here. Everybody's been asking if we're going to win again this year, you know. So we'd love to. We'd love the opportunity to go out here and, of course, win the race today for M&M's and, of course, Interstate Batteries, all the guys that work on this team and do everything that they've done all week long to prepare for this. So we qualified well. We got 5th. You know, that's not bad. Of course, congrats to Kurt. You know, he's on the pole. Hopefully they run well today, and we're looking forward to it. So, you know, of course, after last night's bummer, it seems like I've got something that's just above me for the nationwide race that I just can't seem to shake. But, you know, all my Twitter followers, they knew what happened last night.
Oh, now speaking of the nationwide race, how much to get a good feel for this racetrack? Obviously, the cars don't apply to each other, but what have you learned through this weekend about the track?
Well, the tire compound here is completely different than anything that we've had here in the past. So with the way the racetrack is now with the new banking and everything, and then the way the tire ran last night, it was really odd. You know, you could run the bottom for like a lap or 2, and then you wanted to start moving up, and the groove was pretty much right in the middle of the racetrack. We never could get it past the middle of the racetrack. Today we might see it move up a little bit more because these cars tend to be a little bit tighter. We go faster down the straightaways, you know, so you really want to roll a little bit higher around the corner, not use the right front tire as much. So we'll see what happens in today's race. But what were you telling me beforehand? John Roberts is still not on Twitter? What's up with that?
Okay, you're not supposed to give my secrets away. Yes, and you were making fun of him. Do you want to tell John Roberts that part? Obviously, Kyle Busch is a huge Twitterer.
Well, I was always against it because I'm like, yeah, this is a fad. It's going to go away in a little bit. But it's actually kind of fun, you know. I don't read everybody's responses. You know, I just kind of put out my stuff, let people know what's going on with me. But we gave away some hats and some shirts and some koozies and stuff this morning over at the souvenir trailer. So some signed stuff, by the way. So always stay tuned to Twitter and see what we can give you.
And that is at Kyle Busch, correct?
That is right. We're working through the verification. I don't even know what that means, but we're getting it there. So everybody should get on there and check us out.
Verified means you have a lot of followers. Kyle Busch is going to be verified. Kim Kardashian's verified. We'll hear from her later on NASCAR Race Day. Johnny.
Man, Wendy, tell Kyle I just now figured out that they have the internet on computers. I'm a little bit behind the line here. I just figured out how to use the cell phone, for God's sakes. We're going to take another quick break here where you can see the stars of NASCAR when we go to Atlanta at night under the lights when it comes time to run the Camping World Truck Series, one of the fastest joints on the circuit, and the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series always puts on a great show at Atlanta. Be sure to be there 1:30 Eastern Time, live on Speed. Get the best gear for the best fishing season ever at Gander Mountain's First Cast event, where you'll find the latest high-performance fishing gear from all the top brands. It's the First Cast event at Gander Mountain. We live outdoors, shop the store, the catalog, or online with free shipping every day. And take a gander at those mountains off in the background here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now, you're hard-pressed to find a racetrack on the Sprint Cup Series where Tony Stewart hasn't won, but this is one of them. He's got 4 top 5 finishes here, and today could be the day he gets that first win. Let's go to Hermie Sadler.
I'm good. Will Smoke coming off a top 10 run last week at California, and everybody always loves coming to Vegas, but assess your season so far and what's your outlook for today?
Well, I mean, obviously Daytona wasn't good for myself or Ryan, but you know, last week we had a little better run at California, and I feel like we got a car that's pretty balanced here at Vegas. So I'm excited about it. It's man, it's always fun to come here, and there's enough stuff to do during the day at the racetrack, but in the evening there's plenty of stuff to do to keep us all entertained too.
Talk a little bit about last year, which had to be a lot of excitement for you on and off the racetrack. If you could go back now a year and a half ago when you started doing all this. Anything you would do differently, or you've exceeded a lot of people's expectations?
Well, I exceeded our own too at the with last year. I don't know that there's much I'd change. I mean, obviously it's last year was supposed to be a growing year, and we had 2 cars that ended up in the chase, and we won 5 races, and Ryan got 2 poles. So, I don't know how you go out and say that you'd do that much different. Obviously, we'd love to have won the championship, but I feel like that everybody at Stewart Haas Racing and with Old Spice and Office Depot and the U.S. Army and Tornadoes, Haas Automation, everybody really rallied around this team last year, and knowing that it was a startup year, was very supportive, and I think the results showed that.
How's it been for you being an owner driver? You've had to handle some things differently. Once you get in the car, you're the driver. Once you get outside, you've had some other duties. Has that been a challenge for you, or about what you expected?
It's actually been easier than what I expected, to be honest. But it's what I learned from Joe Gibbs while I was at Joe Gibbs Racing. You hire the right people to do the right jobs, and having people like Bobby Hutchins, our competition director, and Brett Fruit in our office, and 2 great crew chiefs and a great teammate. I mean, it makes my job a lot easier. I mean, you don't have to micromanage. You don't have to sit there and look over their shoulder and make sure everything's getting done. You know it's getting done. You know it's getting done in the right way, and you know that they're doing it in the way that you would want it done yourself. So it just makes my job a lot easier because of that.
Let's talk one question about today. Different starting time. It's going to be hotter today, a little bit slicker, a little bit a different combination tire. What's it going to take to win today? Can you run the top, or you typically like to run the bottom? Tell me what you think.
Yeah, the good thing is we seemed to be reasonable on both. I spent more time on the bottom yesterday than I did the top, but man, I'm excited. I'm excited about the earlier start times. Definitely more excited because I can actually tell everybody each week what time the race is going to start. So I like it. I mean, I like the races in the middle of the day. When the tracks get warmer and a little slicker, that seems to be when we do a little better. So we're not getting into that part of the day where it cools off so much that everybody gets fast again.
Well, Tony Stewart, definitely a fan favorite. Had a great year last year. Rebounded a little bit last week. He'll look to improve on that finish today at Las Vegas.
Hermie, thanks a lot. Not the kind of start Tony's used to, but also not the kind of start his former teammate Denny Hamlin is used to. He may have a little ground to make up so far this season. Let's go back to Wendy Venturini.
Thanks, Johnny. And yes, that starting spot is 27th. Kind of unlikely for you, Denny, and kind of surprising, but not a good indicator for how good your race car is for today.
I don't think so. We made a huge improvement since Friday, and that's it's been typical of us to qualify about 27th or 25th or so, but just something I need to work on as a driver to get better at qualifying, and learned a few things in the nationwide race there towards the end to try to fix some speed that I've been off all weekend on both sides of the garage. So I'm pretty optimistic about today. The conditions are a lot different than what we practice in. So that's going to be a variable that we don't know about yet.
Now, Mark Martin told me before this drivers' meeting that you have to compromise here at this racetrack. Explain that a little bit further from a driver's perspective.
I think I need to talk to Mark Martin about getting around this racetrack. His car was super fast, obviously, and yeah, it's just it's such a tough racetrack. Usually you have to start your car so loose here to be good on a long run. To have your car where you want it after 15 or 20 laps, typically the cars get very, very tight here. So the Goodyear tires, really working well. There is a lot of grip out there. The track surface is starting to age, so you're starting to see drop off a little bit. So I'm ready to get going today. It's we got a deep starting spot, but that don't mean we can't overcome it.
Now, we've talked about this. The early start times means an earlier start time for everyone across the board here on the West Coast. But the convenient part is the races end earlier. What do you think about racing cooler at the beginning of the race and getting into the heat of the day towards the end?
I love it. The slicker the racetrack, it seems like the better our team performs. And our whole FedEx team is, kind of built around the mechanical grip side of things. And it just seems like, with the start times being common, it's going to be a whole lot easier for us to kind of build a chassis setup that's going to work for the chase starting now.
All right, well, good luck to Denny Hamlin, who has a best finish of third here at Las Vegas. Johnny?
Wendy, thanks a lot. That third place finish was back in 2007. Been a couple years since he's been up there, but Denny could make it happen today. No question about that. You can't keep a good team down for too long. We are still just barely firing our engines, and they're the gentlemen and ladies who are responsible for our safety at the racetrack.
Hey, look at that, the Robbie Gordon fan club.
Oh, man. Kenny, I'm in the Robbie Gordon fan club. That's not nice. You are too.
Maybe you need an invitation, man.
I apologize. I didn't.
Next week, the circuit heads south. to one of NASCAR's crown jewels as the brothers Busch look to keep the others out of victory lane. Will anyone break Kurt and Kyle's monopoly? Live from Atlanta, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
Welcome back to Vegas, everyone. When NASCAR implemented the chase to the Sprint Cup a few years back, it basically cut the season by 1/3. So it's never too early to start talking about points. Richard Childress Racing has 3 teams in the top 5, and they let us tag along in Fontana.
19 Sprint Cup races have been run here at Auto Club Speedway since the track opened back in 1997.
I need to come out here with a good, safe, good, productive point day and roll. There you go.
For the sake of these drivers, what you do here at this particular track, because this is so much like all the other tracks we run throughout the course of the year, this is very important to come out of here with a good run.
It's time to get down to racing now. Let's do what we know how to do on pit road. Let's make the first one as good as the last one. Let's have a good day. All right, on 3, kick ass. 1, 2, 3, kick ass! I went out there laying down doing the right front air pressure. So you got those changes, right? And I started walking off. He's going, what changes? And I just kept walking. He's chasing me. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, oh, nothing.
Oh, it's good to be out here in California for a little racing. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys.
Working to the inside of Casey Kane, the Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet of Kevin Harvick, moving early here in the race.
42.06, later 42.60.
Kevin Harvick in that 29 car is looking awfully good today.
Still inside, middle of 3, clear high only, inside. You are clear all around. Good job.
Harvick sweeps around the outside, and he now goes to the point of the Auto Club 500.
Kevin Harvick is your leader.
These guys are about dead even. One will just get a little bit better core than the other. Putting on a hell of a show, though.
And the caution flag flies for a problem. Casey Kane now spinning off turn number 4 and into the infield grass.
Second caution of the day.
5 away. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wedge adjustment for Kevin Harvick.
Go, stay in the middle, stay in the middle. Oh, come on.
Stalls out, though. Almost hits a crew member on the 1.
Too fast entering. In front of our car, okay? Hard to be too fast entering when you're running the same speed as everybody else. How's everybody not to beat?
Why don't you just give him the trophy? Ain't no damn way we can be speeding when we're behind him.
I mean, there's a lot coming. It's just according if it comes south or not. If it doesn't, it's just going to barely miss us and go right over.
The system is coming in from the west. There is brighter skies coming from that end. It's just kind of a matter of how much precipitation these clouds are carrying.
I mean, there's a lot coming, but it's trying to go north of us right here. Hopefully it'll blow it up. I mean, we're right on the very edge.
And you can see the rain from the tower, but for now we are under sunny skies, and we are back under the green flag of the Auto Club 500.
Harvick right on the rear bumper of the low Chevrolet. Into turn 3 they come. This time it's Jimmy Johnson going up high, trying to frustrate the efforts of Kevin Harvick.
Harvick got in the wall there. He just couldn't turn it down.
It's all good. It's all good. Go make it better. You get him down here. You're way better in 1 and 2.
Kevin Harvick had been so close just a handful of laps ago, but now Jimmy Johnson can look in that rearview mirror and feel awful comfortable.
Checkered flag in the air, and for the 5th time, Jimmy Johnson is a winner at the Auto Club Speedway. At the line, Kevin Harvick nips Jeff Burton for 2nd.
Got her in the fence there a little bit. Great job, Kevin. Guys, great job. Long way from where we've been. We've come out here with what we need. Very proud of you.
You know, Jimmy saw me coming there and moved up and kind of took my line away, and I just, you know, there's no room for error when you're running high like that. And I got a little tight and got in the wall with the right front and just knocked the fender in. But great day for RCR. All the cars were fast, and keep running like that, we'll win our share.
Well, we got the boss man here, Richard Childress. A great weekend for you guys last weekend at Auto Club Speedway. Had 2 cars in contention to win. It's got to be a good feeling for you guys how things worked out for you last week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of the whole organization. Everybody's worked really hard. You know, it's early in the season, but we really feel good about the things we've got going and more things we got coming. You know, we got the spoiler issue coming up that we've really been working hard on, and that, you know, we'll just see how it works out.
You guys last year didn't have the season you wanted to have. We were talking before we came on the air. it takes a while to get off, and then when you get off, it takes a while to get back. Talk a little bit about what it's been like on a daily basis trying to get you guys to the top of the speed charts again.
Yeah, it's even last year when we were having a tough time, you have to be on a level that when your lows are low and your highs are highs, you still got to keep that level, because if you don't, you'll destroy yourself. Even if you're 2 races into it, everything's great, but you don't want to be jumping. You got to keep that level, and it took a lot to turn these teams last year. We knew we got a little behind and started working on it in about June, and it took that long to turn it around. You just can't turn these big battleships in a little area.
And what are you looking for in the next couple of months? You're on the right direction, but what can we expect from you guys in the next couple of months as far as continuing to evolve as an organization and contend for wins every week?
Yeah, well, I feel good about it. You know, we're running good here. We didn't qualify quite where we wanted to, and but I feel good because we've got a lot of good stuff coming down the road. We haven't got into some of the things that we're working on further down the road this year, and I think all those will pay their dividends.
And let's talk before we get going. Obviously, a lot of talk in the garage. Kevin Harvick, one of your drivers, not really sure about his plans for next year. Have you guys set a timetable on when that decision will be made? Certainly, running good helps a lot of things, but have you guys set a timetable to discuss that?
Well, we've been discussing it already, but we haven't set a timetable. It has to be done here. It has to be done there. But we have been talking.
Well, good performances on the racetrack help those conversations, I'm sure. Kevin Harvick, Richard Childress is a great combination. We'll see if they keep that going. Look for them to be a factor today, Johnny.
Hermie, thanks. Let's take a look at some numbers for Richard Childress Racing this season. All drivers finished in the top 11 at Daytona. Kevin Harvick leads the point standings, first time since 2007. So these guys are off to a great start, but it just goes to show you that there are peaks and valleys in the sport of NASCAR. Sometimes when you're in the valley, it's harder to get back up, but these guys, you simply didn't keep them down for very long.
Yeah, and you heard Childress say, about 6 months ago, we started in the right direction. The funny part is the group of drivers they have. They've got Jeff Burton, they've got Kevin Harvick, and obviously they've got Clint Boyer. Jeff just goes about everything quietly. He went about making changes on the team very quietly. You didn't hear it in the public. You didn't hear him out whining or complaining. Kevin, on the other hand, he took an aggressive role and said, look, if this doesn't change, I'm leaving. I'm going somewhere else. That motivates certain people one way and certain people another way. And then Clint's the beneficiary of how they've motivated each other. And then Childress is an owner. I mean, what can you say?
Richard Childress,
all the championships.
Yeah, Richard Childress is a special type of car. In other words, he was never wealthy, had no money. Okay, so he's still surviving. You look at Roger Penske, wealthy man, Detroit Diesel, Hertz. You look at all these other owners, Rick Hendrick, 60-something dealerships. Congratulations to Richard Childress for finding a way to stay competitive all these years and keep the money coming in. Good job, Richard Childress. You survived, and you're the only one that has done it. You stand on top.
And here's another thing about that RCR bunch. Driver Jeff Burton in the number 31 over the last 8 races at Las Vegas. Jeff Burton has scored more points than any other driver. So you better watch out for Jeff Burton when we get out on the racetrack today. Got much more coming your way. We're going to do a little fantasy picks when we come back. Since we're in Vegas, let's talk odds. Jimmy Johnson, a 7-2 favorite to win this race. Kyle Busch, 5-1. Gordon, 6-1. There you see a couple guys that are long shots, 150-1. What they didn't list here, though, is the odds of Wendy Venturini getting back in the top 2 is 175-1.
Oh.
Ooh, I'll pay for that.
Painful.
It is time now for our Sunoco Performance Picks. And guys, you can play along with us. Kyle Petty's leading the league. We're running P2, not bad. Kenny, Hermie, and Wendy, 175 back. And this year it's different. In the Sunoco Performance Picks, we're going to pick 3 drivers, one from the top 12, one from the middle tier, and one from outside of the top 30. And by virtue of your first place position, Kyle Petty, you go first.
Okay, this week I picked Jeff Gordon, 24, as my top tier pick. David Ruderman as my second group, and Brad Keselowski, number 12, as my other one. And look, Jeff Gordon, his time has come. This is Vegas. Luck changes here for the 2014.
All right, now it's my turn. I'm not used to picking this high up. It's usually not up here. But let's talk about the 3 I'm going to pick, and I'm going to stay with the Vegas theme. I'm going to pick, first of all, in the top tier, top 12 drivers, is Kurt Busch, the number 2, the record-setting pole sitter. Kurt's is going to lead the way in that top tier, and it's hard to ever call a guy by the name of Kyle Busch a middle-tier driver, but I got Kyle in the second position there, and also in the back tier, and this is not a back-tier driver by any stretch of the imagination, Scott Speed's off to a great start, but back to the Blue Deuce, this guy is really wants to outshine his brother, Kenneth Wallace. so he wants to get it done.
And my A driver is Casey Kane from Enumclaw, Washington. My B driver is Joey Logano. And my third driver is Kim Kardashian. She's got a beautiful car. She's selling a new fragrance. And actually, Kim Kardashian looks like my wife. That's the reason I picked her. But the driver is Mike Bliss. Mike Bliss, do a good job today. Thank you, my friend. And Hermie Sadler, you're the next.
Well, thank you, Kenny. And I'm with KP on Jeff Gordon. He's my A-tier driver. I think today could be his day. Jeff Burton is my B-tier driver. He has 2 wins here, been consistent here all year long. And my third-tier driver, a guy who's very consistent, kind of under the radar, Regan Smith in the 78 car. Look for him to have a good day as well. And I think that wraps it up. Anybody left?
Hey.
Oh,
hey.
Wendy, go ahead, Wendy.
I heard those odds, Johnny. I'm sorry, how many championships have you won in the fantasy picks?
Oh. 0.
Oh. Oh. Hey, we're having fun. This means I can have a comeback, right? If I am in the cellar, that means I have no way but to go up. And I am picking these 3 drivers for today: Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, Robbie Gordon. Those are my odds for Vegas. That's who I think is going to get to victory lane. Why am I picking the 99 of Carl Edwards? Well, hello, he just had a baby. That's reason enough he's going to get to victory lane. Congratulations to Carl and Kate Edwards on the birth of their daughter, Annie, earlier this week. Johnny?
Wendy, thank you very much. Now let's take a look at something that you can win as a race fan. If you ever wanted to have an official Sunoco Racing fuel can, visit speedtv.com/Sunoco for entry details, official rules, and drawing dates. And we need to send a big round of congratulations and applause out to Jeffrey Bodine. He's involved in the bobsled team for the Olympics. They went out there up to Vancouver and won a gold medal, the first one in 62 years. Got to go back to 1948 to find the last gold medal for a USA bobsled team, and Jeffrey Bodine was very instrumental in putting that effort together. So congratulations, guys. Go USA, and we'll be back to Vegas in just a moment.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And brought to you in part by Napa. Napa Know-How.
If you posse up, chop it up to get your grind on. East Coast, Midwest, West Coast time zone. Word of mouth, dirty South. Guess who back up in the house? Gotta be the Big Sam. It's all good. Oh yeah. Relax, you can't wait. He's back, you can't hate. We doing it all day till you're feeling right. Relax, you can't wait. He's back, you can't hate. We doing it all day till the morning light.
You know, Kyle was fine on that, but Kenny, you and me, we simply can't do cool. We cannot play off cool.
I'm a dirty white boy. Hey. Dirty white boy.
Okay.
Where did that come from, man?
I have no idea where that came from, but here's the important thing.
Be silly.
Hey, look at it this way. It just simply doesn't get much better than this. We're in Las Vegas. We got a beautiful, sunny, warm day. We got a great racetrack and 43 of the greatest race car drivers in the world. How can we go wrong?
All we need is a corn dog, baby, and I'm ready to watch it race.
You darn right, with mustard on it. Mustard on my corn dog.
I'm ready.
All right, so we've covered corn dogs. We've covered the Neon Garage. Spa inside.
You know, there's one place over here that sells polished sausages. Not Polish, polished. Polished.
Before we get in trouble, let's go inside to Hermie. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And catching up with a special guest here in the garage, Carrot Top. Now, we come to Vegas. One of our yearly stops is checking your show out, but you were on one of our shows.
Pay for tickets, but they do come. I appreciate you coming out to the show.
You were on NASCAR Smarts early today and did pretty good. You're quite the NASCAR buff.
I did better than I think people thought I would do. They're like, "Oh, Garrett, we can slam him," and I knew about 6 out of the 8 questions. So, yeah, don't mess with me. I know what I'm going. I know what's going on.
Well, who's going to win the race today since you know so much?
Well, that's a good question. I know Busch is on the pole, and he came to my birthday party, so I give a little love to Busch. And my prediction will be probably Busch. Yeah, I think Busch from the pole. But there'll be some play there with Gordon, I think, and maybe Tony Stewart. Johnson is probably going to be in the top 5. So.
Well, how about Elliott Sadler?
And Elliott Sadler. He's right there, absolutely.
Good to see you. I'm good. You doing all right?
I'm doing great.
Big race fan. Carrot Top's a big race.
Big race fan. Well, he didn't pick you to win, but I told him top 5. Give him a top 5. Let's go to Wendy.
Well, thanks, Hermie. From Carrot Top to Kim Kardashian, I think we're moving up here in the NASCAR garage area. Kim, your first chance to get to a NASCAR race. Why NASCAR? Why are you on the race car, and why are you the Grand Marshal? This is a pretty big thing for our sport.
Well, I'd never been here before, so I had always,
heard about these races, seen them on TV. I really wanted to be a part of it. I launched my fragrance, and I was here in Vegas for that. And so when the opportunity came about to, further promote the fragrance, I'm just, honored to be here.
Now, we don't have mainstream media come into NASCAR all the time, but with the Daytona 500, we had Bruce Jenner with us, obviously your stepdad. NASCAR's gaining more and more attention. Do you think this will allow other folks to come over and give some exposure to our much growing sport?
I definitely think so. I mean, there's an audience here that, I know typically isn't my audience. So I'm so excited to be here and meet all these people. And I hope that, my fans, I've been twittering about it, telling everyone that I'm here. And I hope that they, become interested in the sport just like I am.
All right. Did you chat with Mike Bliss real quickly?
I did. We compared jumpsuits. I feel really bad for him. He's wearing a pink jumpsuit, but you have to be a confident man in order to wear a pink jumpsuit and drive a pink car.
That is very true. Speaking of confident men, let's head back to Johnny Roberts.
Jumpsuit? You all right, Kenny?
Kenny, come out of it.
All right, brother?
Man, I love Kim Kardashian. I like watching that. Keeping up with the Kardashians.
That may be the understatement of the year. This is typically not my audience by Kim Kardashian, meaning a NASCAR. What's she launching? Like Essence of Smoke?
I don't know, but
Essence of Smoke. She said something about a new fragrance.
I thought she looked real great, and Kim Kardashian looked good too.
Yes.
Talking about Wendy.
I'm with
Denny Hamlin and company getting ready to take on this racetrack here. It is a fast 400 miles coming your way here from Las Vegas. Now, NASCAR Victory Lane is fueled by Sunoco, and we'll have the whole wrap-up of perhaps Mike Bliss's pink jumpsuit.
Yes.
Tonight on NASCAR Victory Lane. Want to thank everybody for coming along for the ride on this Las Vegas edition of NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot. There you go. There's the jumpsuit. We're going to jump into this race. Tune to your local Fox affiliate, and we'll see you tonight on Victory Lane.